Welcome, everybody, to our Adapt to Impact office hours. Our topic for this month is adapting outdoor play. Okay, so we'll start with introductions. And if you lovely ladies who are here with cameras off, if you're able, I'd love it if you could turn them on just to share your name, your role, and your favorite outdoor activity to do with children. But if you cannot, that is totally fine. Feel free to drop that in the chat as well. But I'd love to hear what your name is, your role, and your favorite things to do with kids outdoors. And I can get us started. I am Mariah Michaels. I'm an early childhood special educator, and my favorite outdoor activity to do with children is probably anything involving water, like water tables, sprinklers, um, kiddie pools with balls, anything. Yeah, anything water related. How about you, Krista?
Hi everyone, my name is Krista Legray. I'm a speech language pathologist and I'm one of the coaches for Adapt to Impact. And I have so many favorite activities, but for today I will pick anything involving hula hoops because I find them to be so versatile. They can swing them around their bodies, they can use them as jump ropes, they can put them on the ground to use as markers for different things. So I love the versatility of a hula hoop.
Good one. All right. Who's next? Anybody? Eileen?
I'm trying to get my video to work. It's been fine all this time, and now today it doesn't want to work. So, welcome to my day.
It's okay.
That's technology for you.
Mhm.
So, I'm Aileen Miranda. I am the program assistant for Early Childhood Council, Logan Phillips and Sedgwick. And we do have the kits at our office. So, any of our licensed providers or preschools can check them out from us. I'm the one who checks them out before they go and checks them in when they return. My favorite activity to do outside with children, I am in 100% agreement with you, Mariah. Anything water related,
Awesome. Thanks, Eileen.
of course.
Let's see. How about you, Sandy? Are you available? Oh, I see. You put a message in the chat. That's okay.
Yeah,
Um,
my camera for some reason only shows a black screen even when it's on, so keep it
It,
off.
that's
everybody
it.
is having great technology success today. So
Hey, but you're there, so I'm excited. Even if we can't see you, you're there. So how about what is your favorite outdoor activity to do with kids?
Anything water related, like others have said, and nature walks. I love taking them on nature.
Totally. Yeah. Sandy, well then stay tuned. I'm sending a resource this next week on how to adapt nature walks because it's one of my favorites too. So that's exciting.
Awesome.
Let's see. Who else? We have Nirmal here, right? Nirmal, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just, yeah. So, my name is Nirmal Torad, and I am a childcare provider in family childcare home. I have a regular license of 6 kids and 2 school-age kids.
Mhm.
And our favorite outdoor activity is to run, go on the walk, then use the dice and then jump, and then we use the hula hoops um, to just use the hula hoops, and then they hop in the hula hoops like in and out. So we sing a song like um, put your right foot in, like the hokey pokey song, and we do those kind of activities. Yeah, and then we have like water play, sand play, then gardening. Gardening is the one activity that they love to do it. So we just plant, like last week we just planted like 15 veggies and the fruits and vegetables, all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. Nirmal, I love those. You know what? I've never even thought about doing the hokey pokey with hula hoops. That is brilliant. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
they love it to doing, because every individual, I mean, all the children have their own hula hoops, and they
Mhm.
put it like inside. I mean, they put the hula hoops right in front of them, and then like put your head in, your the
I
right foot
love it.
in, the whole body in. So they love to jump and do like all kinds of stuff.
That is so
Yeah.
fun. What a great idea. And I saw, Lucia, you mentioned mud play as your favorite activity, and that is so fun. My children would 100% be on board for all mud play too. And it looks like we have one more person. Archie, are you available to let us know, introduce yourself and let us know your favorite outdoor activity?
Sure, it's like my personal or with the kids.
Well, you could share both.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Archie. I am a director at Bright Beginnings. So I work with kids, but not too much outside with them. But whenever I'm covering and I go outside, so the picture shows it's the sprinkler. So now it's the summertime. So we do water play every week. So that's the favorite because watching the kids play in the water and the sprinkler, we have the same sprinkler which is in the picture. So it's fun to watch them and have all their sensories getting used up.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I actually had that same sprinkler when I was a kid too, and we'd jump over it, run through it. It's so fun.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, you see those kids. Yeah, it's fun to watch them. So currently, that's our outdoor play, which we do every day. So it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, and it gets so hot in Colorado in the summer too. Like the more water, the better. Um,
Yes, correct. Yeah,
okay.
thank
I
you.
love it. Well, thank you guys so much for introducing yourself. Let's see. I'll show you next. Our whole team is not with us today, but when you reach out to the Adapt to Impact team, these are the people on it. We have Maureen, Krista, and Christina are all speech language pathologists, and I'm an early childhood special educator. And then on that second line, you have our loan library and technical support people. We have Mar Gardner, Jackie McBride, and Elijah Camp, and they manage our loan library and do technical support. So if you ever struggle using our website or our loan library, these are the people who will help support you navigating those. Okay. And for those of you who haven't attended in the past, I'll just give you a brief overview about what our project is offering. Um, so we are here to support childcare providers as you serve young children with delays and disabilities. We provide online free professional development, resources and support, as well as access to a loan library of adaptive toys, equipment, and materials. Has anyone borrowed one of our kits from an ECC or checked out anything from our library?
Yeah, I have checked it out before. Yeah, it's been months. I mean, this year I haven't checked out anything yet. But yes, in the past I did, and we love those kids. So yeah,
So glad.
it was
Our kids,
successful. Whatever we adapt, I mean, what we say, bought it from the loan library. It was
Mhm.
helpful.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
so
now you should
glad.
have, sorry, good.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, now maybe you have more new things added to it, which I would love to go and check your loan library. But yes, in the past, it was very helpful.
Oh, great. I'm so glad you
Yes,
used it.
we have a ton more things. Because our projects merged, our loan library now has about 200 things in it that you can borrow. So
Good to hear
definitely look
that.
at that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I did try some sensory and then we did buy those because we did see them helpful with the kids. So we did some changes. Like I still remember the spoon one we had, and then those scissors where the kids don't have much grip to hold it, and those connected ones. So we bought those. So yes, I would love to go again in the loan library and check it out then. Thank you for the update.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And we should be adding some more items sometime soon, which is exciting too. So keep checking, yeah, check out our loan library because, and the kits still exist as well. Like we heard a little bit earlier, Aileen mentioned this, that she's managing kits for her ECC. So you can still continue checking those out. And then we have the loan library in addition to that. And Nirmal, you raised your hand too. Did you want to chime in about your loan library use
Y-
or ECC kits?
Yes, so I did so with the Adapt to Impact program, I checked out three different developmental kits. So one was like cognition and behavior. And so my kids, love to play with that. And not only that, I had some fine motor in there, and then some puzzles in there. The most, uh, the most they like is like the children who struggle with getting into like schedule, or they don't want to follow, or like so I had to tell them like, oh, this is the first, this is the then, so first we do this, then we do this. Some of the toddlers, they don't have much words now, but like because of our communication kit, I got to just show them the chart that they provide, and then like, which one you want to say, do you want water? Like, so the chart is very useful for those who cannot communicate. So I just posted, like, I made a copy of that chart and posted in my daycare. And then if they want to say something, they run there and then this one, and like, and then I got to know, oh yeah, she wants to say it like that. And I also checked out the wobble cushion where they sit, because in
Mhm.
the circle time they don't want to sit, like
Mhm.
especially the toddlers. So I had like that wobble cushion where they can sit, and this they feel the spatial. So they feel that, oh, this cushion is only for me, and
Yeah.
this is yeah, and this is the spatial, so I am the spatial, so I had to stay here, like that. So they love that, and it's wonderful program. And I know that, I mean, um with all the different kinds of toys, the materials, if I had to purchase, I will need many $1,000s, but then I got to know, like, I got to get like for as a loan, and then I can use it, I can like see like what kind of stuff they like it, and what is useful as per their development. So I have one child who is on IEP, who is like very few words now, but they so I'm using like communication kit for him so that he can use more words. Yeah, and I have seen because like last time when the program name was different, so I used the kit that time also, and I use kit now also. So I have a continuous, maybe like 1 year or so I'm using the kit. So it's been improvement. It's been like, I can tell that he understands now, what is the first, what is the then. And then I'm literally very emotional, so what shall I do, so he has that, we can say, the tools, so that
Mhm.
he can use those tools and communicate. So yeah, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much, you guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. Nirmal, that makes me so happy. And I think about, um, yeah, you have utilized a lot of our tools, and it's so cool to see kids make progress. And then also it gives you ways to support parents too. I mean, I think about the frustration parents have, and you guys are spending the bulk of the day with these children, and you get to make such a huge impact for them. And you can also show parents like, look what they can do, look what they did today. Um, it's you're giving me chills, Nirmal. I'm really excited to hear. It's so powerful when kids start to learn to communicate. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
really
it's a
excited.
variety
Thank
of,
you.
and variety of resources are there, variety of things are there, which like, it's not the one thing that we need to try, but we have like, okay, this one doesn't work with this kid. Maybe it will help the other kid, and it does
Mhm.
help with the other kid, even
Yep.
if like communication, some of the toys from the communication doesn't work with one kid, but it helps with another kid, the children who have like sensory issues. So we have like that rainbow fish that I got it last time. So I have that rainbow fish and the book, so they love to see that. They love to connect those ideas together. And also like the rainbow fish has some sensory structure on it. So,
Mhm.
whenever they are so loud, or like if they want to go and calm down, it's so sensory that, oh, I can do like this, I can see like that, I see these colors, It's very wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Totally. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that those are really helping kids in your program. That's so great. Thank you for sharing those. Um, okay, so I guess to jump into outdoor play,
Sorry,
um,
Mariah. Archie had her
oh,
hand up.
I missed you, Archie. Go ahead, Archie. What would you like to share?
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much. No, I don't have anything to share. Sorry, I had a question regarding the kids. What exactly is inside the kit?
Yeah, Krista, do you want to share? You got it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Mhm.
Let's come back to that at the end and I can show you pictures.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll pull them up and show you. They're really cool, Archie. I'm biased, but I think they're really cool. All right, so we'll jump into why outdoor play matters. It is essential for a child's overall well-being. It provides a foundation for lifelong health, learning, and social skills. The studies have also shown it can decrease anxiety and improve self-regulation. There are a million benefits of outdoor play. Um, However, for some children with delays and disabilities, there are barriers to accessing outdoor play. Some of those are physical accessibility challenges, some are due to sensory sensitivities, and some are due to social and communication difficulties. So, when you think of the kids you work with, what challenges have you faced when playing outdoors with them? Do any of you have any challenges you've seen or noticed? You can drop them in the chat too if you don't want to speak on camera. I can give you one that I had a student who, like, you could see wood chips in this picture, and he would put wood chips in his mouth and munch on them every time at recess. That was a barrier to outdoor play. I mean, we were concerned for his safety. Um, anyway, any other ones?
I worked in a program that had a child with a preferred activity that would just go to the same corner to do the same activity by herself every day, didn't want anyone else around her, didn't want to try anything new. It was very challenging.
Yeah. Totally. That is so challenging. So next we get to talk about what to do about those challenges. Okay, so these are strategies for adapting outdoor play. You can modify the environment, and that's things like adding ramps, sensory-friendly spaces. I wrote modifying handles, and if you read the resource I sent out, the email about using parachutes and balls. I talked about modifying handles on that, like bulking them up for kids who have fine motor delays to make them easier to grip. Learning to dress for outdoor weather, using picture boards. So those are all ideas of modifying the environment. Adjusting activities, that could be simplifying games or using visual supports, and supporting social interactions using peer buddies, structured play, communication boards. Um, and I'll share after I left you guys hanging about the wood chips, like, what do you do about a kid who munches on wood chips all the time? And so he was seeking oral sensory input, right? Chewing on things can be calming, and it was calming for him. And so I got him a little chewy necklace that he could wear, and he would just pick it up and chew on it when he was outside, and it totally replaced munching on wood chips, which alleviated a lot of stress for me and his mom. What about you, Krista? How did you modify the environment for that little one who really wanted to play by herself and not interact?
Well, it was very slow and it was multiple steps. Um, we first started by having other children play near her doing the same activity that she was doing so that they were kind of in the same area, and then tried to have one of her peers interact with her at least one time while they were all doing the same activity. So she kind of over time several weeks, I would say. She got used to at least having those children in her space. And we didn't have them stay there the whole time, just, spend 5 minutes with her. And then we slowly started introducing, like, if there was a collection of children, three of them would do the same activity as that girl, and then one child would do something different, and then the next time two children would be doing something different. And we slowly had the kids around her kind of changing their activity and then tried to introduce it to her. And again, this was very slow, but she eventually would accept interactions with other children. She still always wanted to do her preferred activity, but she didn't fight against it if the kids were doing something else that she was also doing with them. But
Yeah,
very slow.
I'm so glad you mentioned like sometimes change is slow and especially for kids with cognitive delays, it can take hundreds of repetitions sometimes to understand a new concept. And so I think it's important to remember that when you try something new or you introduce a new tool or strategy, that it might not work the first time and it might not work the first 10 times. But it may start working, it may just take extra time. Or also, it's important to remember if something is not working at all, it's okay to pivot and try something different. But yeah, time is something to keep in mind. With kids who are struggling. Okay, so does anybody else have any adaptations you've made for outdoor playtime that you can think of? We can keep moving if you don't, but if you have any to share, you're welcome to.
So, I in my backyard, I put some sensory plants. So I had a child like a year before who had like some sensory issues. He would like, he would just get scared of like little bugs or like, touching any plant, or like he would think that, oh, it might hurt me, the plants and all that. So, I put some of the plants, those are sensory, like lamb's ear. It's very soft to touch and feel that, it might help him to understand, oh, the plants can be soft and not all the plants are, because I maybe it's my fault also, because like in front yard we have beautiful roses, and one time he touched that and then he just got poked out. So he's like, oh, no, all the plants are very, so he got scared. But then like we made like some changes outside in the garden bed. We just put like some sensory kind of like the plants who are very soft to touch, the plants who are like smell, like the I put some mint in there so that he can smell and he can eat if he wants, and then yeah, I just made like little bit of that, and also introduced the mud play for him, because he had like, if I put the hand in there, oh, my hands will get dirty and it will not be clean again. So we introduced the mud play. So I had like last year the mud kitchen. So I have a mud kitchen outside, which helps him to understand, oh, it's okay to play with the mud and then get dirty, but and if we wash our hands again, I have those the soaps which are like, the foam soaps. So the foam soaps helps him to understand, oh, it's soft and like my hands will be clean by this. But then after it's been a 1 year now, we are using the same foam soap for his hands.
Mhm. I love it. Oh my goodness, that's such a great accommodation. Normal in a garden is I don't I guess it wasn't like my go-to first thought of like a sensory experience, but it is just what you're saying. It's an incredible sensory experience. You can smell, you can taste, you can touch,
Yeah,
and you can use tools, right? Like if dirt or mud or is overwhelming, you can use a
yeah,
rake or a shovel or some. So it's such a great tool and
Yeah.
experience for
And
kids.
I touch lamb ears every time I pass them when I'm out for a walk too. So that is genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about I planted mint with my own kids, and they'll walk past the mint plant and just start chewing. They'll like pull a leaf off and chew it. And it's I love it. It is a sensory experience. That's brilliant, Normal. Thank you. Okay, so next we get to work together to adapt an outdoor play activity. So I created a scenario for us. I have the outdoor water table is a favorite activity for several children. Leo is a 2-year-old with low muscle tone who struggles to stand by himself and only has a few words. How could you adapt this activity so Leo can join in with his friends? Any ideas? You guys can put them in the chat or shout them out. Let's think about it. Nirmal just mentioned like accommodating for sensory need. So let's say Leo doesn't like to touch water. What could you do to help a kid touch water?
Give him a stick in his hand or a toy, a long toy, which he can just try to touch the water with that toy.
Yeah. Archie.
Or maybe a sponge where he
Mhm.
can see the sponge is absorbing water and then it's coming out the
Yeah.
extra water, something like that.
That's brilliant. Archie, those are great. And I'll show you. I know you guys have mentioned liking to do water play with your kids. And so in a couple of slides, I'll show you some tools we have. But Archie, you made me think of one of them. We have a jumbo fishing set you can use with kids, and that would totally serve that purpose, like giving them a long tool or something they can still play and be a part of the activity, even if the sensory version is like too strong for them to want to touch it. I love that. Um, I have worked with students who had a hard time standing at like a table and using their hands at the same time. They just didn't have the motor control to stand steady. And we've put like tubs of water, like plastic. If you've seen the like wrapping paper bins, those shallow, long tubs, and I filled those with water instead to make water play accessible from sitting on the floor or laying on their belly, and they can put their hands in it.
Mariah, you're getting some great comments in the chat too. Do you want me to read
Oh,
them?
yay, shout them out. I haven't been monitoring the chat. Thanks,
Okay.
Krista.
One idea is to place a chair by the water table so he can reach it.
Yeah,
One is to try some bubbles.
yeah.
If he likes bubbles, try a different object in there. You could use rubber ducks or toys the child is interested in playing with. And one other idea is to use a water fountain with lights.
Fun. You guys, those are great. Those are really great suggestions. I love those. And I was just thinking, what about the language piece, Krista? So if Leo doesn't have a lot of words, so he couldn't necessarily say like my turn if he wanted a duck to play with, or if he didn't have the words to say bubbles, what could you do to accommodate for that language delay?
Well, this is where I would use a plastic baggie, like a Ziploc baggie, and I could put some communication cards in there so that they would stay dry, but also he could hold them up or point to them to share with people that he's excited or that he wants to use one of the toys, um, or just other things that he could express with pictures. You would have to be careful with some of the electronics, but some of the single message buttons might also work if you just put it in a Ziploc sandwich bag to keep it dry.
Thank you. And that was a perfect introduction to our topic for next month. So, you guys, if you attend to office hours next month, we're continuing outdoor play, but we'll practice doing exactly what Krista just talked about how do you accommodate outdoor play in like sand and water for kids with communication delays. So we'll get to put some things together and go over ideas for that too. Thank you. All right. Did we get all the messages in the chat, Krista?
Yep, great ideas,
Okay.
everybody. Thanks for
Yeah,
sharing.
those were fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so next, we have some real life scenarios. And this is a time you can share stories about kids you've had or struggles you've had outdoors or success stories. I have a couple to share with you as well. Um, I guess I'll start. So I had one of my students in my program. I've really struggled with transitions. And it was specifically the transition from recess back to inside. He would run, he would tantrum, he would scream, he wanted to stay outside. Um, and one day I mean, it was an everyday occurrence, every time after recess. And one day before he was melting down, before the transition, I had this thought and I said, Hey, friend, I really need your help. Miss M was a parrot in my class. I said, Miss M hurt her back and she cannot push wheelchairs today. She cannot do it. Can you please help me? And I said, in 5 minutes, recess will end, and I really need you to push a wheelchair for Miss M. Miss M's back was in fact not hurt, but he was on board, you guys. He had that warning before the transition, and then he was all about being a helper. And so not only did he have purpose, part of the reason I asked him to push something was because it gave him, it's called proprioceptive input, and that's pressure to your joints. And it can be really regulating, especially for kids who function amped up high, ready to blow. That pressure to their joints, like pushing things, heavy work, can be really calming to the nervous system. So, one, he had a job. Two, he was moving from point A to point B, which was great. Three, he was regulating, which was so helpful. And there were a couple days when he was so amped, I was like, I don't know if pushing wheelchair is the best idea for this friend. And I had him hold a door instead. The door into the school is really heavy. And so he could hold the door with both hands long enough for the whole class to walk in. And it gave him that same proprioceptive input. You guys, it was such a like a simple thing. It didn't cost money or extra time. And it just took that warning of like, hey, I really need your help and you have this important job. Um, and then he was my wheelchair pusher or door holder. And didn't work perfect, but at least 80% of the time, he didn't have those meltdowns leaving the playground. So that was one huge win for that little guy. And then my second story is based on this picture, this um, little sand thrower here. I had a student who was nonverbal, who loved throwing sand. It was the only thing he delighted in it. You guys, it just made his day to scoop sand and toss it on repeat. Um, and that was all he wanted to do when we played outside. But it was problematic because it made it impossible for other kids to play with him without getting sand in their mouths and their eyes and their hair. And then also he had this like beautiful tight knit curly hair, and his mom was so frustrated because she couldn't get the sand out of his hair. And she asked us, she's like, could you please not let him play in the sandbox anymore? I can't handle all this sand in his hair. And so we tried redirecting him. We tried to introduce him to the swing and the slide, and he wanted absolutely none of it. Like he wanted to be in that sandbox throwing sand. That was it. He made a beeline for the sandbox every day. So, to accommodate this, we ended up getting him a shower cap that he could wear in the sandbox to keep the sand out of his hair. And I bought sand toys that required the use of both hands. So, like buckets and shovels, or those sand sifters that you shake, you scoop, and then you shake with two hands. And we would sit behind him, or one person would sit behind him, and I'd usually have other kids in the sandbox with him. But we would teach him to use one hand to hold the sifter and the other hand to scoop, and um, and just to work on that, like one keeping both hands busy so he couldn't scoop and throw. But he learned functional play skills, which he really didn't have. That was what he knew how to do, was throw sand. And so he learned to scoop. He learned, he started to talk. We were able to work on language skills, like using the same words repetitively, like scoop, dump, shake, um, and on repeat. And it took, like Krista was saying, some things don't happen overnight, right? And it took him a while. I think it took a few months before we were able to get rid of the shower cap. But he learned to play to actually play in the sandbox. But those are a couple examples I have. Does anybody have any success stories or on the flip side, like struggles where you're like, I have this kid who will not come out of the slide. I don't know. That we could chat about. Anybody? If you have anything, you can also put it in the chat as well. Oops.
I have one story I can share as well.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your story.
We had a child who was in a wheelchair, a powered wheelchair, and unfortunately, our school only had wood chips that were kind of in a pit. So there was like a ledge to get into the playground area. It was very small, but still in a wheelchair. Not only could she not get into the playground area, but she also couldn't drive her wheelchair around in wood chips. So we had to change things up a little bit because she was just kind of left out of playtime because the other kids didn't really know how to include her when she couldn't come into the play area. So we ended up moving our activities over into the grass for several days so that we could do a lot of activities over there that she could participate in. We did like relay races, and the kids got so excited when she would be on their team because they thought, like, ooh, we have like this fancy driver on our team. We're definitely going to win. So she became kind of like a hot commodity in that situation, which was really good because then the kids all wanted to play with her. And then we could bring um, toys outside with us, and they could choose if they wanted to play in the grass or in the playground area. And if they were in the playground area, they would do things like hit a balloon back and forth or things that she could still do from the edge, even if she couldn't be in the wood chips with them. So it's pretty fun to see the kids adapt.
I love those. That's a great story. Thank you, Krista. Does anybody else have a story you want to share? Could be something really simple too, like telling your kid someone's back's hurt and they need help. You need a helper. No. Okay, well, we can move on. Next, I was going to share with you our tools in the Loan Library that are really great for outdoor play. We have this Velcro toss and catch. This bubble truck is super cute. It is switch activated. So if you have kids who don't have the coordination to like hold a bubble blower up to blow, this is all they have to do is push a button and they get to participate in bubble blowing, which is fun. And every kid will think it's cool. So then you can work on turn taking and interacting with peers. And then, like Archie, you mentioned using a tool to help kids who don't necessarily like the sensory experience of water. And this giant fishing game is what I had in mind for that. We also have some weighted bean bags that are washable, so you can use them outside, clean them off. The sensory spirals, and we all water tables, so they can work on scooping or using like the sensory spiral. They can use their pincher. Okay, so this is the home page of our loan library right here. These items, the
You
outdoor
didn't switch
plans.
your screen. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay, it's showing. good. Okay, so up here, you can find this drop-down menu that says lists, and underneath it, there's an outdoor play one. And all these items I just showed you are on the list right here. And you click request this item if you would like to check any of these out. But these are what those sensory balls and stars look like as well. But those are all on there. All right. And then next, sorry, I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. Okay. Also, we've mentioned this before, but we have PDIS courses. These ones have been up for a little bit. The Introduction to Universal Design, Adapting for Disability, Behavior and Cognition, we have Communication and Early Literacy, Fine Motor, Hearing and Vision, but brand new this week, we have an Adapting for Disability Gross Motor course available. So check those out if you need some training. And also if you'd like to access our loan library. So if you don't have access for our loan library yet, there are two things you need to do to start checking items out. Well, first fill out an intake form if you haven't already. Then complete our Introduction to Universal Design, and that will give you limited access to the library. And then to have full access to the library, you just take one more of those courses, and you'll have full access to check anything out from the library. And if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to ask at any time. Okay. And then if you guys need help, loan library support, like if you need ideas for checkouts, say you have a child who's biting, or just like a challenging behavior, or a new student starting or a new child starting in your program that has a language delay or just seems behind, but you don't know what to check out from our library, we are here to help you. You can email us and we can walk through different ideas for tools to check out. Or if you're looking for something specific but are having a hard time finding it, we can help you do that. And we are currently running a promotion that for any person who checks out an item from our loan library, you'll receive a free Stay Put mat to keep for your program. And I have a little video clip to show you how it works and what it is. It's a really cool tool. Actually, I have it right here. Okay. Here we go.
Ability to stabilize the paper with one hand while grasping and manipulating the writing utensil with the other. The ability to visually discriminate the paper from other surfaces close by, and the control to stop the writing utensil before drawing outside the border of the page. Using an adapted writing surface may help children manage some of these challenges. The Stay Put mat is a drawing mat that has an attached magnetic frame in the front and is covered with non-slip rubber on the back. The magnetic frame secures the paper, while the non-slip frame backing stabilizes the surface on the table. The distinctive colored frame also gives a clear line around the paper, which may help children to visually define the boundaries of the writing surface, as well as a physical border to help them know that they have reached the edge. The visual edge.
All right. Okay, so that's the Stay Put mat. I really like it. You can use it in a lot of different ways and on different surfaces, but you can have one free when you check something out from our library. Here's our contact information if you don't have it already. And then we also have social media accounts. We just launched them this last month. We have a Facebook account with the name Adapt to Impact, and an Instagram page at adapt to impact _CIDE. So follow those, and we'll be sharing different resources that we have, or new items in our library that come up. Anything else about our social media, Krista? I covered it? Okay.
That's it. You got it.
Okay. And then also, we have been sharing this in an email, but I wanted to remind you guys we have a Google folder for you. It's this Adapt to Impact Technical Assistance Resources. I can pull it up for you. But all of the resources we send out via email, we're putting in these folders for you to find. So if you want to go back and look um, for anything we've gone over, like we just did adapting books. You'll find a lot of those items in here. Anyway, so we're just filling these folders with resources for you. Yes, Nirmal, do you have a question?
Is it possible to share these links to like in the email so that I can share with my friends?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I will send it in the follow-up email today.
And also, Normal, that this bit.ly address at the bottom, bit.ly / resources _ adapt.
Uh-huh.
That's like the shortcut link to get to it. So you'll have that as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and then Krista can share pictures of those kits with Archie. And also, if anyone has any questions, jump in and now's the time. We're happy to chat with you. Let's see. Did I stop sharing, Krista? You have it? Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so let me pull this up. Oh, why is it talking? Can you hear that?
Is it talking? No, I
Yep.
can't hear it.
Okay. Okay. So let me tell you what this is. I don't know how to get this to pause. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. I have to pull up something else. Okay, we'll try this one instead. It was not letting me control it. This one. Okay, so this might be familiar to some of you who were involved in Project Include. We had these universal design and inclusion kits. Oh, it's scrolling for me as well. Interesting.
Yeah.
But we have 5 of them. These, we no longer have these full ones in our library. Okay, I'm gonna stop now and just talk. The full ones are no longer in our library because we got a lot of feedback that they were very cumbersome and a lot of things in them to get from the library. So we instead just have those full kits out with our early childhood councils or another local community program. So they are available in most communities. The great thing about those kits is that all of the items in them have a QR code that links to a video similar to the one that Mariah just showed about the Stay Put mat. So you can pull something out of the kit. It might be something you've seen before, it might be something new, but the video will tell you how that item can be used as an inclusive tool with the kids you're working with. So we have the big kits are only out in the community at this point, but we did break them into smaller sizes and kind of break them up so it's less to go through at one time, and easier to carry to and from your car at the library. But those kits are still available in our Adapt to Impact library in smaller versions. Mariah, can you pull that up while I'm talking about it? So you can still get those same items, but for example, the communication and literacy kit is now a series of like 3 or 4 kits instead of the one giant box. I'll give Mariah a second to pull that up.
Yeah, which one did you want me to pull up, the literacy kit?
Just any of them. If you
Okay.
just do a search for kit, it will show
Okay.
all of them.
Yeah, here
And
we
these are
go.
very similar in that they all still have the QR codes on them so that you can watch the videos. So I like the kits because they're a great way to get started if you're not really sure what you're looking for or what to try first. These kits could be a great option because they have just a selection of things for you to try, and you can kind of see what works and what doesn't, and what direction you might want to go next. And again, like Mariah said before, that's something that we could help you with to get ideas. If you really like something or something worked really well with your kiddos and you want to get something else from the library that would be similar, we could help you with ideas of what that item might be.
May I just ask a question then? I believe that I heard you cover it, but I just want to clarify. So we have the full kits here still. If
Correct.
someone wants just an individual item or two or three out of that kit, they can request that, and I would just pull it out and provide them with those couple of items rather than the whole kit now?
Oh, so
Mm.
what we were talking about was for our loan library, with the checkouts. We did like we separated things out so that people could request one item at a time through our library. So if they just want one item at a time, it'd probably be best to go through our library because that's more than we could imagine you guys wanting to or having to manage with all the kits in the communities. But yeah, we did, because of the feedback we got, we wanted to have multiple options and ways for people to do it. So you will still have the full kits in the community.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
And I just showed you communication literacy kits, different versions of that one, but we have gross motor and fine motor, we have behavior and cognition. There are a lot more to look for. So if you haven't browsed our library, check it out, sidelibrary.com. And we have, like Krista said, over 200 items and kits in there, and more coming.